This is GARIS Masculist MGTOW flyers. That is 2 3-page essays on the themes of Masculism and MGTOW, written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de GARIS. This is flyer number 9-7, entitled Helping College MGTOW/Masculist Groups. Description. Men's lib groups are now starting up on American campuses. This flyer lists the main ideas of MGTOW/Masculism to help the leaders of these men's lib groups to spread the word to the majority of men on campus who remain ignorant of MGTOW/Masculist ideas. For the flyer itself. Helping college MGTOW/Masculist groups. Recently, I came across a video by TFM, that's Turd Flinging Monkey. He's one of the prominent content creators for MGTOW on the internet, talking about a men's lib group at a US university that was having problems with the feminist group of that university. I wasn't so much interested in the problems as in the very existence of the men's lib group itself. I've been pushing for over a year for the establishment of men's lib groups at colleges and high schools. So thanks to TFM, I have learned that men's lib groups are starting up at colleges. I've yet to hear of a high school men's lib group starting up. So if there is one or more out there, please make yourself known in this comment window. It's inevitable that such men's lib groups at colleges will exist. The number of views and YouTube channels on the theme of MGTOW/Masculism/MRA, that's men's rights advocates, etc., is growing exponentially. So it's only a question of time before large numbers of young students at college and university are MGTOW/Masculists and form a MGTOW/Masculist group at their institutions. Perhaps they belong to a fraternity at a university, and hold regular meetings in which they talk about MGTOW/Masculist themes, perhaps inviting individual members to give a PowerPoint talk on a given topic, swapping links to interesting MGTOW/Masculist YouTube videos, etc. This flyer is aimed at such college-based men's lib groups. This is not the first time I've devoted a flyer to this topic. If you go to my, I'll give the link, so profhugodegars.wordpress.com/MGTOW-masculist-resource-flyers/ you'll see several flyers on that theme, which give suggestions on what such college-based men's lib groups could do at their regular meetings. So I won't repeat myself much here, but simply invite you to click on the above link and browse down the list of roughly 70 flyers, about 2 pages each. Well, now, speaking a year or two later, there are now about 200 of these MGTOW Masculist flyers that I'm now, literally right now, filming using my Sony webcam, handycam. I suppose I ought to say at least something about what MGTOW/Masculist groups could do on campus, concentrating on the dominant ideas. A campus-wide men's lib group would have it as its main aim the education of other men on campus. Even though the number of views on MGTOW/Masculist videos/essays is growing exponentially, the percentage of male students on campus who are familiar with the principal MGTOW/Masculist ideas is still small, probably under 10%. So MGTOW/Masculists still have a major educational task ahead. We need men's lib groups on campus and high schools to spread the word. What word? Well, the major ideas, such as the toxicity of the divorce courts that have been taken over by fluffy feminists, so that roughly one married father in 4 gets financially massacred by a divorce, losing his kids, his house, paying child support, and alimony to his fluffy, parasitic ex-wife. Tell campus males that divorce and hence marriage is toxic and should be avoided. Tell them that 70% of young men under 35 in the US and Japan are MGTOW in practice, if not ideologically, in the sense of refusing to marry and have kids. They spend their money on themselves. Tell them about the twef lifestyle, so that they can get the regular sex that their bodies crave, but not have to pay the traditional price of being a manslave to a contemptible fluffy parasite. Tell them about the red pill, that is, that women don't love men. Women love men's exploitability. If a man loses his ability to financially aid his female partner, she is genetically programmed, that is, evolved, to lose interest in him, deny him sex, and to move on to the next man-slave candidate. Tell them about women's hypogamous nature, that is, that women are always on the lookout for a more exploitable male. If one comes along and it's realistic for her to drop her current manslave in exchange for a richer, more powerful, better looking manslave, she will. Tell them how the human female evolved to be a prostitute for men, that women were dependent on men to provide women with protein, because women were frequently pregnant and immobile, unable to hunt, looking after small children, so depended on men to give them protein in exchange for sex. Human females are the sexiest of mammals because they evolved to be prostitutes. It's their nature, male protein in exchange for female sex, that is, prostitution. Tell them that if women are not FIPs, that's financially independent persons, they will not get a man, even to tweetwef with. Masculists refuse to sex fluffies as a form of punishment. Tell them to put moral pressure on female students not to be fluffy crappers, that is, studying fluffy crap majors that will not allow them to become FIPs as adults. So in their 30s, when their biological clocks are ticking hard, these fluffy women will look around for some exploitable manslave to pay for the middle-class house she wants to raise her kids in, and a decade later divorce him, take his house and kids, and have him pay for her with child payments and alimony. Tell them to tell man-dumping, misandrist, feminazi bitches that they're the first category of women to be rejected by MGTOW/Masculists. Tell them to tell ordinary female students that most of them will not have kids. That will scare the shit out of them, because having kids is what women evolved for. It is their prime raison d'être, French for reason for being. Tell them to put political pressure on the gender politicians to menfair the divorce laws and to pass the PARA, paternity rejection right. Tell them that it's not enough to be a FIP, that women also need to suppress their true female nature in wanting to nag men, deny sex with men when they are bored, trying to mould him the way she wants. A tweetweffing man can throw out his girlfriend so easily by just walking away back to his own apartment and she to hers. Tweetweffing keeps the woman being nice. If she starts behaving like a feminazi bitch, he walks out of that relationship pronto. So if you're a lone MGTOW/Masculist at your college, your university, your frat, that's fraternity, your high school, then talk to your friends and form a group inside your institution. Then really start getting the word out. There's plenty of MGTOW/Masculist material on the web now. It only needs to be disseminated to become mainstream. That hasn't happened yet, but it's surely coming. The next step after the ideology creation phase, which is where we are now, is the educational phase, the phase of heavy growth in the numbers of men who label themselves as men's libbers, MGTOWs, Masculists, MRAs, etc. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. YouTube channel name De Garis, Masculist, MGTOW, Flyers.